Hi guys, welcome to a new Techalyzer video. Just want to show you a neat little trick you can use if you have problems with mold anywhere you'd like to test. I was thinking, how can I be sure that I have no more humidity where the mold is growing? This is my balcony right here, and I've had a serious issue with you see, we have a problem here in my country. I know that in some parts of the world, mainly US and UK, you generally have these contractors that are, legally allowed to do some work, and I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I guess it's all controlled by law, and they need to have like papers and documents and their own company, self-employment, whatever, and it really doesn't work like that here because of two main reasons. One is because big construction companies are way too expensive for regular people, just for home, for doing work at home. They're totally fine, for offices, for companies. It's not really something you can afford as a person, at home. And the other reason is that the government here basically basically drags us through mud and slam us with a million taxes, and it's not really the thing you'd want to be doing. The easiest one would be the equivalent of self-employment, and for that, the taxes can reach and even go beyond 50%, so even more, like going towards 75. It's outrageous. So you basically give the government at least half of what you do. So what happens because of that is people are just going around and doing the job, money in hand, no papers, no nothing. And that creates a problem. You can have people that work just fine, and you can have idiots like we've had here. This is a balcony. They have insulated it. A common method here to do that is with usual that jumped on me, the usual polystyrene, which means you have a wall, a concrete wall somewhere, I guess right next to this window. Then you come with a polystyrene sheet and you tile over it. Say if you want tile like it's on this side. If it's a ceiling, you obviously can go for the same polystyrene and drywall. This is drywall here. And the stupid thing about this is you need to protect yourself from the outside. Okay, this part right here, this is perfect. This is just fine. You keep the cold out. That part on the ceiling, it's not really necessary. That goes directly to the neighbor's balcony, which is gonna be more or less the same temperature. It's still a closed balcony, it's not open. Some people have open balconies, you get the temperature that's outside. It's not going to help much, and what they did was they covered all the ceiling with it's basically a clear layer of air, then the polystyrene, then the drywall. And the thing is, they did this all the way to the outside, so the whole concrete slab all the way to the outside, and they left it like that outside. So you normally just get some cement on top. You see like this net here, you put this net, some cement on top, some outside paint, to keep the water from going in. They just left it like that. So as you see it here on the inside, this is how it looked on the outside. And what happened when we had precipitations, like the almost snow that we have now, water would come, would seep in between these, between the concrete slab and the polystyrene, just flowing in. You can see the watermarks here, and clearly see the ceiling has been very wet a lot of times. And because there's this clear space here that gets constantly humidified, that's where a lot of mold was growing. And for me, that is, I think I've said it in the previous video, it's like poison to me. So microscopic quantities make me, basically burns my lungs. It's amazing how sensitive I am, so I needed to get rid of that stuff. So what I did, there were a few bigger holes outside too. I covered those with plaster, and then I sprayed this on top. This is just some kind of stone chip protection spray. It's pretty good. I've used it on my car there, and it lasts really well so far, you know. And I have all these rocks here. I've been recently to a trip in the mountains, you know, like big rocks and dust and mud and high speed and all that. It turns out just fine, and I figured that if it's holding on the car, then just sitting out in the rain on the wall isn't gonna do much to it. So I just covered every little crack that might get water inside. I've painted with this stone chip protection spray, and the point is, I now wanted to see if there's still water going in. Obviously I can't just smash all this ceiling off, because it's not really something that I can do it, but I don't want to, and I can't really feel much here other than just a few inches in these holes I've made. So I figured, oh come on, water has electric conductivity, alright? It has resistance, and I have this multimeter here, so why don't I use it to measure humidity? It only shows now because I've used a spray bottle to spray some water here, and it's still showing up. And that's basically what I did. I just punctured the drywall with these probes, pushed them all the way in so I can get the maximum contact. And there you go, that's the reading. So it was perfectly dry. I had to wet it myself just to test if this thing works, and it works very, very well. And you can see the resistance is increasing as the water is evaporating from the drywall, and it will eventually become zero. So that's a very easy thing to do if you want to test for the humidity of a surface in your home. I'm gonna have to try and do something here with no, the other way. It's getting uncomfortable position here. Sometimes it drops because I don't know why. Like the water vapor may get redirected, or maybe the probes move a little bit. .580, okay. So you can see the general trend is and the resistance is decreasing. So we're going towards 600 now. This is 0.6 mega ohms. This means 660 now kilo ohms. And I highly recommend a multimeter that goes all the way up to 20 megohms, you know, as high as you can on the resistance scale, so you can be very sure that the surface is dry. Even though I don't think, I think 10 megohms is enough, honestly. So you can see this right now is pretty dry. It's been a while since I sprayed it, and I haven't sprayed a ton of water, so by this time it's mostly gone, and it's barely reaching 1 megohm in a few moments. So yeah, that's a very simple way. So I can take this out now. Oh, that's gonna bring some wall down with it. What am I doing? Oh, I'm pressing a button. Okay. And you can just hold them in your hands like this and just you know, touch them to the wall. You can see it's 0 on this side. This is where I sprayed. It's 0.4 again. If I move over to the areas that I'm interested in, like there, you can see it's an OL, open line. That means there's no electric resistance in there. And that is a very good thing. That means it's dry. And I've done the same thing in that place where it got dirty, where the spot is, where the water has been seeping through. 2.5 now, 2.3. Not sure why it keeps dropping at first. Let me try and blow over the ceiling. That should bring the resistance up. There are obviously some mold still left, but it's not as much, and I hope it's gonna go away if there's no humidity. The general humidity in the air is very high now too, because it's raining, so it's going to dry a lot slower than it would on a dry day. Come on, I wanted to see if I could make it go away. Maybe a hair dryer. But keep in mind, it was less than 1 megohm, and now it's at about 2.5. So it's gonna go down slowly. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.